Hey everyone, Dave here. Welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's video is going to be one that I wanted to do for quite some time now, which is I wanted to give you all some early game tips. I won't call it a guide because I don't like the guides being like telling you exactly what to do and when to do it, because this game just explore and play around. But I'll tell you some tips that will make your life easier. And basically, if you are especially free to play or low spender, it will help you not to waste resources and then regret it later on. So I've wrote down some tips. I'm going to go through them with you. Yeah, and let's see how they will go. So first things first, usually this is the first tip that everyone says, and it's a bit late by the time you watch the videos, because you install the game, you start playing, and then you look up some videos for it. So, and this tip is that simply that you should choose Kael as your starter champ. So Kael is the strongest out of the four starter champs. His AoE hits harder. His poisons are very good for clan boss and dragon. So it's not a deal breaker. If you started with one of the other three champs, Gaelic is the weakest, but whatever, he also hits hard, and you invested some effort or time or money into the game and you don't want to create a new account on a new email or whatever, that's totally fine. It's not a deal breaker. You can continue with your starter. But if you didn't do that yet, or if you saw the video before you start the account, Kael is definitely your starter champ there. So that's tip number one. What I will try to do is that while I'm talking, I'll try while editing the video to put like the tips one by one, like just above my picture here, so you can read through them with me as well. So tip two. Tip two is, and I'll try to divide the video into chapters if I know how to do that on YouTube. If not, then yeah, but we'll see. Here where you see the tournaments, when you first start the game, the only tournament that you'll see is what they call the novice tournament for new players. Only one will be here. And I don't have a newly created account to show you this on, but what's important there, if you just progress a little bit into different areas of the game, dungeons, arena, campaign, and all of this, you will gain points, and the points will be explained in the tournament. Your target is, I think it lasts for 48 hours, is to get 1,000 points. Don't compete for the tournament, you'll just get an ancient shard, probably it's going to be a useless rare. But when you have 1,000 points on that tournament, you'll get 4 pieces, if I remember correctly, of 4-star epic speed gear. The stats are random, so they might all be crap, but you might have some good pieces that you won't be able to farm yourself till maybe a week or two into the game. So you're progressing into the game anyway, plays the tournament, get the 1,000 points, and get your speed gear. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3. Actually, let me move back to tip number 0. This is a game. It can be challenging, it can be competitive, it can be frustrating, but this is a game. Play it as long as you're having fun. If you're too frustrated, if you're wasting too much money on the game, just stop. Just play the game, have fun, and keep it at that, because that's more important than everything else that we're going to say. Yeah. Tip number 3, if I'm keeping proper count now, is the lifesteal sets that you get as a starter, like those daily login rewards. In the first 6 days, you will get 6 pieces of 4-star epic lifesteal gear. Probably till a couple of weeks down the line, you won't get anything better than this. Especially that those sets are the only ones that you'll get free from the game that have specific stats. So the boots will always be speed boots, 4-star epic speed boots. The gloves will be always 4-star crit rate gloves, and the chest plate would be attack percent. So those are perfect for your starter champ. Use these 3 lower pieces on your starter champ, and for the other 3, just choose only one of them, because you only need 4 pieces for a set to complete the lifesteal set on him, and then you'll have 2 additional pieces to put on someone else, on your secondary champ. Farm 2 more pieces, and then you'll have 2 champs in lifesteal sets 6 days down the line. But yes, so keep that lifesteal set, don't sell it. you will keep using it for quite a while till you get better gear later on. Okay. Tip number 4. Buy the masteries for your first 3 champs. Some people say just buy it for the first one, then start farming. I think this is useless because when you only have 1 or 2 champs maxed, you won't be able to do Minotaur 15. And Minotaur 15 is where you'll start saving gems when you farm masteries for gems instead of just buying them. So my recommendation, buy masteries for the first 3 champs and then use these 3 champs with the 4th one to farm masteries afterwards. After you buy masteries for 3 champs, max the mine, because the mine will cost you 1500, but it's totally a long-term investment. It will keep giving you gems forever in game. So buy masteries for 3 using gems, then, and the game would be throwing a lot of gems at you when you're working on the missions and the challenges here. So do that, 3 masteries and then the mine. Yes. Tip number 4 or 5, I started losing count. Go to the market. What you want to buy early on, all of the mystery shards, the green shards, like I was saying, because I'm just buying mystery shards from the market and I'm getting them from farming campaign and such, you can do a whole fusion just with mystery shards. So buy the mystery shards, and probably if you have enough silver saved, that can be a little bit hard when you're early game, but if you have silver, buy those 2-star champs, you'll use them as food, and you'll see a lot of pieces of gear that are good for your level early game. So for example, that's a 5-star shield with accuracy on it. You won't be able to farm this, so if you see it, you have the silver, you can buy it. You can buy speed boots. This one, it's not a bad piece either, so it's not a good set. So yeah, buy the good pieces of gear. Don't go crazy on it because you lose silver fast this way. Buy these champs as food because probably you'll take some time till you get enough mystery shards. So that's the next step. Yeah. The one after that, Warmaiden. Warmaiden is a barbarian, farmable rare that everyone talks about. Why? Because of this skill. She applies when booked 100% the big version of decreased defense for 2 turns, and you can easily book her because basically when you're starting the campaign, so stage 9 is a good place to farm anyway. Get a bunch of copies from Warmaiden, book her, use her as your defense down champ till you get a better one. So that's the next tip. Okay, the tip after this. A 6-star champ with maxed masteries is much better than a bunch of 5-star champs. I know that the jump from 5 stars to 6 stars, especially early on, takes a load of farming. It will take you days and maybe a couple of weeks to max your first champ. But that's what you should focus on. Get your first champ, your starter champ, to level 60, and then work on to get the second one to level 60. 260s are much more than 450s. And you do the masteries for them, they will do much more damage, they will help you progress massively. So one by one, start maxing champs to 60. Till you have 5 champs maxed to 60s with masteries. Why do you need 5 champs? Because in most areas of the game, except for Arena, you'll need 5 champs for your team. And that's what you need. You need to have a core team built there. That core team should not be all damage dealers. Otherwise, you won't be able to progress. You want 1 or 2 damage dealers. And then you want a debuffer like Warmaiden, we were talking about her a minute ago. Someone to apply decreased defense, weaken, negative effect, decreased attack, negative effects on the enemy basically, depending on who you're going to pull from shards. And then the 4th role here is you need a buffer, basically someone to apply healing, to apply strengthen, to apply block debuffs, to apply defense up on your team, basically making your team stronger with positive effects. And the last role is healer reviver. So you'd be lucky if you pull one of these early on, but basically those are the 5 roles you are trying to fill for the team. Okay, best two areas, and I think I've mentioned that before, to push early on. You want to push till you get to at least gold 1 in arena and push for the clan boss as high as you can. Why these two areas specifically early on, as early as you can? And I would prioritize arena over clan boss because arena will take much longer for you to farm the gold medals to start maxing your great hole, and you need to max at least one of them to level 10 to get arbiter, so it takes you a lot of time farming gold 1. Get to gold 1, start farming easy teams there, and you'll get through that. Next priority should definitely be clan boss, because basically clan boss, when you climb high enough to the higher difficulties, and I'm talking about the demon lord here, when you get to Ultra Nightmare, probably down the line you'll get sacred shards, void shards. You'll get no, it's a gear. You get a Lego box. So those are three of the most expensive resources in the game, and you can get them. There's a possibility of you to get them on a daily basis from the clan boss. If you manage to do, usually, like I said, with a half decent team, you can do nightmare. You can 4-key nightmare, and then you have the same rewards but to a much lesser chance. To So just do clan boss as early as you can, clan boss and arena. Next tip. Okay. While talking about clan boss, the next step would be just to tell you which debuffs are best for clan boss and which buffs are best also for clan boss. So debuffs on the boss, you definitely want decreased attack, a consistent decreased attack champ. One of the good ones is Tyrell. He applies decreased attack on his A1. That means he's always hitting, he's always placing it, and that will prevent the clan boss from hitting you harder. One of the other really good options for this, because she provides actually more than one role, is Sepulchre Sentinel, one of the old guards. Decrease attack, she actually provides both roles. So she provides a debuff and she provides a buff. Increased defense and block debuffs are two of the most important buffs for your team for clan boss. So we talked about decreased attack, decreased defense is very important. So you'll get this even from someone like Warmaiden. So she will give you decreased defense very early on. Also, later on, depending on how advanced, I'm just talking about the champs, you can search Hell Hades or Ayumi Love websites. I'll come to that tip later on for which champs has which debuffs. Weaken is also very important for clan boss. Strengthen is good for your team. Increase speed is good for your team. But probably you won't get Lydia till very late in the game. I'm just giving her as an example of a debuffer. So that's the buffs and the debuffs needed for clan boss. Two of the most important also: counter attack, and shields. Forget about shields for now. Counter attacks almost double your damage, because when you apply counter attack on your team, each time the clan boss is hitting, you're doing like an extra hit with the whole team to the clan boss. That increases your damage considerably. And the next good buff for clan boss is ally protection. I think that I am Yankee got some crazy ally protection comps for clan boss doing crazy damage, so ally protect is also a very good buff to have. What else do we have here? Okay, so we've gone through these. Yep. Next step. Dragon is the easiest dungeon. What you want to do is to climb as high, of course, when you can, to stage 13. Stage 13 is where you start getting 6-star pieces of gear and just keep farming this. Sometimes your progress will just stop and you have to drop everything and keep farming dragon for like 2 weeks to get additional pieces, better pieces of gear, to enhance your clan boss team, your arena team, and just get better at the game. So this is your friend. Get there as early as you can and farm it as much as you can. Other dungeons will come later on, but you'll start with this. Okay, another very straightforward tip. If you can get, well, you will be at bronze 1 in 3v3. Everyone has one man defenses. Let me refresh, maybe I'll get an easy one. No, thank you. Okay. So do your 5 or whatever fights daily, at least minimum, for 3v3 because you'll have Dexthar in the bazaar. Of course, I claimed my Dexthar a while back and he's one of the strongest champs. So keep doing 3v3 and farm those Dexthar fragments till you have 100 ones and just summon him. The next one, I don't have Rhazin, of course, I summoned Rhazin ages ago, but you'll have a permanent fusion for Rhazin. Keep all the epics needed for Rhazin. Do not feed them. Use the champ training for fusions to bring them up to the needed levels, and when you have all of them, just fuse Rhazin. He's also very strong, and he can fill in multiple roles. So yeah, basically farm your way, unless you get crazy lucky with some Legos, farm your way to Dexthar and Rhazin. Those will give you a huge push forward when you summon both of these champs. What else? Yeah, just common one. Follow missions and challenges. They will give you rewards. They will keep your account progressing forward. Another common one, just if you have time, log in every day, finish your daily activities, your advanced when you get to them, weekly and monthly, because these will give you a lot of rewards as well and will help you progress. Second one is that when you have shards, I'm doing this pretty in game, but after you pull, probably you need to open some shards practically at the beginning to get some champs, to have a roster to work with. But after this first week or two, especially after you max your first 2, 3 champs, sorry about that, depend on the mystery shards to get 1 and 2 star food and level them up to use them as food. Keep all of your ancients, voids, and sacreds that you'll get from the mission progress, beating campaign, and all of this till a 2x event. A 2x event will be very useful for you at the beginning because you have double the chance to get good champs. Later on, the value drops because you already have champs, you might get dupes, you might get bad epics, but early on, mostly like half the epics are okay. Half the Legos are okay. So you'll definitely get something good if you save your shards till a 2x event. Okay, next step is on a daily basis, Raid will give you a free, probably I used all of mine, but Raid will give you a free gift, which is basically one energy refill. Keep these. First of all, they will stay in your mailbox for 99 days, so you don't have to use them immediately. Second thing, you'll get loads of energy from the progress missions, and your energy cap will be very low at the beginning. It will increase with the levels, I believe. So till you get to the max level, which is 130, if you exchange that refill while you have only 100 max energy, that's 100. But then you get 30 more if you claim it when you have 130 max energy cap. So keep these, save them for fusion, save them for progress, for dungeon farming, save them as much as you can. Those free daily ones that you get them day in and day out from the game. Okay. Two very important resources for this game, and I'll make sure to link them in the description below, is Hell Hades website and Iomi Love website. This is where you can search for, because if you are into this game that much, you will search for buffs, debuffs, team comps, and all of this, and those are the most valuable resources there. So Hell Hades website got a better graphical view. Ayumi Love is mostly text-based, but it can be fast if you have like low bandwidth, you're outside, you want to check something quick on your phone. So yeah, I'll link both of them, but they are great resources that you should depend on while making progress. We're almost done with the tabs. I only have a couple more. The next one is when you are viewing videos from content creators like myself, even myself, watch the date. If the video is 2 years ago, things might have changed. The champs they might be talking about might have been buffed or nerfed. He might not be working the same way. So make sure that you watch videos that are recent, so whatever they are saying is still relevant in game. And again, when you're watching videos, see the levels they are working at. If you're watching a video who tells you how to gear a new car, and he has this level of gear, and he tells you that he should have 5k at least attack with like above 200 crit damage, but you're still starting the game and you think those are crazy numbers I cannot get to, so you'll get frustrated, you'll get disappointed. This is end game. I've been farming gears for 3 years. You won't get there till probably at least a year into the game. So if the video is end game, just ignore it. Other than those tips that I'm saying, there are certain areas in the game that you shouldn't touch till you are higher up, till you have specialist champs for Iron Twins, for like Hydra Clan boss, for Doom Tower Hard. Don't touch these areas till you have a very developed roster, otherwise you'll get disappointed and frustrated early on. Just focus on the basic stuff, you'll get there when you get there. Last thing is that enable two-factor authentication on your account so it won't get stolen, especially if you're investing a lot of time, effort, and money into it. Just enable two-factor authentication. It's going to send you an email saying someone is trying to log into your account. Is it you or not? And it will send you a code. That's really important and really useful to enable for your account. Last tip, of course, keep watching my videos. You'll get a lot of good stuff when you listen to me. And I hope those early tips were useful to you. Like I said, I will try, if my editing skill don't let me down, to put the tips on the screen while I'm talking about them. And also I will try to divide the video into chapters if I know how to do that on YouTube. Thank you for listening if you're still listening till now. Have a good time playing Raid if you're early account. And yep, let me know if you want more early account videos. Thank you. Bye.